Hi and welcome. In the 8th episode of the Positions in War Thunder series, I've prepared another batch of incredibly toxic, absurd, and downright weird positions, just the way you like it. The first position we're going to talk about is on the Sun City map. The biggest advantage of using this spot is that it allows us to counter a strategy I covered in my full guide for this map. Our goal here is to win the PvP fight on the beach and prevent an enemy tank from reaching the position in Sector G7. If they make it there, they can single-handedly wipe out our entire spawn. Now, all we need to do is drive along the entire beach to Sector A7. The hardest part here is not falling into the water at this spot. The depth is massive, and if you accidentally slip in, you're guaranteed to drown. Moving forward, we end up in a completely absurd position that has existed for years, and Snail still hasn't done anything about it. Yes, there is a small issue. A countdown timer starts because we're technically outside the battlefield. However, if you move slightly forward, the timer resets. In reality, this position isn't about fighting your enemies, it's about fighting the timer. If you're using a good tank, keeping the timer in check won't be a problem. But if you're here in a Soviet tank, well, you already know how that goes. Now, all that's left to do is keep an eye on the timer, make sure to reset it, and farm enemy tanks. Most of them will be completely confused and have no idea where to look for you. I honestly don't understand why fixing these ridiculous positions is such a huge problem for Snail. Maybe they need to stop selling premium tanks for $70 and start charging $300. Then they might finally have the money to pay a programmer to patch this spot. By the way, don't forget that you also have a clear line of sight on the distant enemy spawn. While you might only see a few pixels of a tank, you can always spot SPAA radars. If you're carrying shells with good arc trajectories, this is the perfect moment to put them to use. By the way, I really hope that the guy who comments under every one of my videos saying he reported this spot to Snail and that it'll soon be patched so that filthy players like me can't use it anymore is watching. You have no idea how many messages he sent me when they finally fixed the hill on Carpathians. So, just for him, I'd like to showcase this little clip from my recent match. This is how Snail fixes toxic positions. That's all we need to know. The next position, which will definitely come in handy, is on the American Desert map. I wouldn't call it toxic since it's located in Sector D3, meaning it's on our side of the map. However, this position can be extremely effective, and I'm sure it will be useful in your battles. We need to get to this spot, aim in, and intercept all enemies heading toward Point A. I can confidently say that this position works exceptionally well at lower ranks since enemy tanks move much slower, giving you plenty of time to line up a precise shot. The biggest challenge you might face here is the battlefield turning into a scrapyard of destroyed enemy vehicles. As wrecks pile up, it becomes harder to find a clean shot, as your shells may get absorbed by the wreckage instead of hitting live targets. This is a great position for beginners or players who don't have thousands of hours in the game. From here, you can easily rack up kills and provide valuable support to your team. Personally, I mostly use this spot when playing light tanks. That way, if I can't take out a target myself, I can at least mark them for my teammates making it much easier for them to win the fight for point A. Some might say that this position is just a reaction time test, but I want to shut that idea down immediately. The real reaction time test is actually a position you can use when playing on the opposite side. The position you're about to see isn't super effective. It exists for one reason only: to frustrate your opponent so much that when they die, they smash their keyboard while screaming, "This donkey is just sitting there, staring through a gap between buildings." We roll up to Sector D5, aim in, and put our reaction time to the test. This kind of gameplay isn't for everyone, especially since it's not the best for racking up kills. But if you manage to take out an enemy, they'll be absolutely furious. Getting eliminated by someone who is otherwise completely useless in the fight is just salt in the wound. This spot falls into the joke spot category. It's only for those who want to mess around, have some fun, or just skip this map by getting a couple of quick kills before moving on. Before we move on, I just want to take a moment to sincerely thank each and every one of you for watching my videos. Words can't even begin to describe how grateful I am for your support. You are the reason I keep creating content, and I truly appreciate every single one of you. A special shout out to those of you who have become members of this channel. Your support means the world to me. Thanks to you, I've started upgrading my PC, and I'm really excited to improve the quality of my videos over time. You guys are absolute legends, and I couldn't do this without you. Thank you. The next position you absolutely need to know about is on the Maginot Line map. We need to push down the first line and make it to Sector F1 in one piece. If you decide to try this spot, be prepared for close quarters combat in Sector E2 in some situations. If you manage to come out on top in that fight, you'll be able to get to this hill and farm enemy tanks as they roll out from their spawn. You'll be nearly untouchable in this position, and the only way you'll get taken out is if you make a critical mistake. Always keep an eye on your right flank. An enemy tank could roll in and catch you off guard. Also remember that you can always move around the hill and change your attack angles. This will help you outplay an opponent who already knows your position. This position works just as well on both the summer and winter versions of this map. If you're a fan of flanking attacks, you absolutely have to try playing from here. I'm sure you'll love it and have a blast dealing massive damage to the enemy from the flank. And to wrap up this video, I've saved a way to skip a new map that many players don't like. This time, we'll be playing as a sniper, just 30 seconds away from our spawn. All we need to do is get to this hill, scope in, and intercept enemy tanks pushing toward point B. It's the simplest, most boring, yet incredibly effective gameplay. From this position, you can almost always pick up a couple of kills to switch to a plane. Personally, I only use this spot if I keep getting this map too often, or if I'm making tea and need a free hand. I hope this video helps you secure a few extra wins and add some variety to your gameplay. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. See you next time, and take care.